This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 213 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, I am speaking with Cel Smart, and we're diving into how you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Now, we are going to do this from Cel's perspective of a fitness expert and how it is, but it's all going to get tied in because so much of what we see is on social media, which is why we need to make sure that we are not focusing on being perfect, but rather on how to be amazing. You're also going to hear us talk about how much we both believe in the importance of collaboration, especially amongst women, which is why this episode is sponsored on behalf of my mastermind groups. As many of you may or may not be aware of, I run facilitated mastermind groups with 6 women where we actually dive into their businesses over a course of 6 months and help them scale their business. And we are opening up a new program since we had so many people that joined in January. We are opening up a new group in March and would love for you to be a part of it. So make sure that you hop over to the application and learn more about what the mastermind is and make sure to fill out that application. I am looking forward to working with you closer. All right, you guys, let's dive in. Hi, Cel. Welcome to the podcast.
I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun.
I am so excited. We just had an amazing conversation over on your podcast, Be Amazing, which we're going to talk more about because I definitely want to dive into all of the good things about your podcast. But before we do that, will you introduce yourself and your business to my audience?
Sure. So my name is Cel Smart, and I am a lover of all things fitness. I have a full-time career right now, which is I sell fitness equipment for a living. So all these beautiful apartment communities that you see with these amazing gyms. I'm the one on the backside of it doing that for a lot of the ones here in Charlotte. And then I have clients really all over the country. That's my full-time. But my love and what's really turning into an entrepreneurial venture is Be Amazing. And Be Amazing Fitness is my LLC. And we're right now in process of getting the website up and running. So be on the lookout for that 2021. And the big event that has my heart is the Be Amazing weekend. And this weekend is for women to come together and celebrate their achievements, celebrate each other all around fitness. It's a big fitness weekend. Friday night, we have a 5K run. And then on Saturday, we have Miss Be Amazing Bikini in the morning. And then we have Be Amazing Showcase in the evening. And then we have a big celebration gala. And it's just a way to bring women together, celebrate each other. And it just has my heart. Like it's to me, it's my happiness. It's just such an amazing way to celebrate and bring women together. So I just love that.
Yes. No, I do too. And I love the fact that your business is Be Amazing. I just think that is so perfect. And I think that really is why I wanted you to come on to the podcast, is because I think we as women just really put a ton of pressure on ourselves to be perfect. And when you talk about Be Amazing, I don't think it puts that like almost negative connotation on the whole idea of being perfect. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with women trying to always be perfect?
You know, this is such a relevant topic, but not just now. It's like been this way forever. I remember, just to kind of dial back my own experience. So when I was 11 years old is when the doctors, and I was in the room when they told my parents that I needed to lose weight. And it was like this, you know, like I went from being this child and going through puberty, and all of a sudden you hear that and it's just like, huh? You know, and I was already awkward and feeling weird and shy already. And then to all of a sudden be aware that, that needed to happen. And so for the next couple of years, I really struggled with self-esteem, but then found physical activity. And then my dad had like this positive eating plan. And so that for me was kind of the start of it. My sister didn't deal with that. Like that wasn't really, she didn't really ever have, she didn't deal with like weight issues or anything like that. So for her, it was a different experience. But for me at a young age, it was already like locked in. And then as you become an adult and things change, and then you have women now that have, everybody's having babies and like your body's changing, but you've got to maintain like this, what you look like when you were 20, like there's all this pressure. And then you add social media on top of that. That's a whole nother ball game. Like it's, so, there's this incredible pressure. It used to be magazine covers. It used to be, growing up, it was, what was on the magazine or what was on TV. And now it's as simple as pulling up, your phone and looking at, Facebook, Instagram, and seeing pictures. And then that comparison kicks in. And so there's this, it all of a sudden becomes like this, like, I got to do something. Like I gotta be prettier. I gotta be better. I gotta do this to be perfect or be perceived that way.
No, 100%. And I think social media, like you said, has only made it that much more difficult because all we see is the perfect, right? Like we're not looking and seeing, we don't see the shot of the girl kind of hunched over with the belly. You see the shot of her like with the ripped abs and standing upright and hand on the hip and the leg flexed and amazing. You're not seeing those other shots. And it is that kind of like you said, comparison of like trying to figure out how can I get to look like that and not feeling like you measure up. Why do you think we always feel that need to be perfect?
I think it's just something I think with women in particular, I think because what you look like is such a thing. I mean, it's, and I feel like young girls experience it even more so than even when I did when I was young. But like, I think it's just this, I don't know. I just feel like it's just part of it. Like being a woman, that's just kind of part of what comes with it. It's that pressure. And then you have a choice to make. Am I going to choose to let that run my life and control me? Or am I going to embrace who I am, love who I am, be the best version of me and go that route? So I think there's, it comes down to a choice on how we view that and then which way we're going to go with it.
I love that you talks about loving yourself, right? And being okay within your own skin and what you're doing. And I think that goes into multiple things, like not just the outward appearance of like your fitness, but also like decisions you make in your life as far as your business and the decisions you make in your life with your family and whatever else. And especially where people just seem to watch everything that we do. I mean, we obviously make it easier for them by doing Instagram stories all day long, but it's just so much harder, I think, to really understand what that can look like for us. Have you ever seen others overcome that mentality of needing to be perfect?
Yeah. I mean, I can even say this, I can talk about myself.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a good example of that. I've had the internal struggle, most of my adult life with the only place I found value or found confidence was the gym. Like that was where my confidence really showed up. And I can be honest and just say in the past couple of years, it's just been recently where I'm no longer finding my value in what I look like, because for me, that was kind of a thing for me for a long time. And now it's like more about what's within and finding that like my voice and what I have to say and, what I have to offer has more value than what I look like. Because as you get older, it's harder, it changes. And it doesn't mean that you don't, that I don't do the work anymore. Like all of a sudden I'm just like, well, I'm just not going to the gym anymore. Or I'm not going to, eat healthy anymore. None of that. It just changes the focus. And I'm no longer like completely focused on that, concentrated. Like that's a part of my life, but it's no longer the one thing that I hold the most value in myself.
Yes. Do you think that happened at a certain age for you? Was it like an age thing and it was just kind of like, I'm done with this. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just going to be okay with who I am and what I'm doing. And I'm still going to do the things that make me healthy and happy, and just focus more on not what others are thinking, but about what I'm going to be able to do in this world.
I think age definitely played a role in it, because I think as you mature and just life just teaches you lessons. Like,
yeah.
And then you just have to learn to roll with the punches, because it's not, life just isn't perfect for anyone. No matter what you see on Instagram, it's not perfect. Everybody's battling their own stuff. But I think too, it came down to finding confidence in myself and like what that was for me. And once I made that mind shift, and I didn't do it alone, my husband has been completely supportive and encouraging and constantly saying, you got more than that. Like, it's more than, what you look like, dig a little deeper. There's more to you than that. There's substance there. And so I think even for me, just making that mind shift and going, finding more about myself, like, being open and honest, not just with people around me, but with myself. But just finding confidence within has been a big shift. And that's kind of what has shifted everything else. It's what you value. I think that's what it comes to.
That was the word that kept repeating in my head as you were talking. I get that sometimes where I'm like, yep, that's the word I want to talk about. It's knowing your own value, right? Your self-worth, and really, truly understanding what you are giving to others and give to yourself even can bring to the table and just provide so much value for people. So something that I kind of want to make sure that I share, because you talked about how you were younger and you were told that you were overweight, got into the fitness side of things. What is also some of your background? Like, you sell a fitness, but you've also done what else?
Oh, well, a lot of different things. Anything with activity has been my jam. But my main thing was out for 10 years. I competed in fitness. Fitness America pageant system is the one that I was highly involved with. And I did 25 shows in that period of time. I coached a lot of women in fitness. And it's just always been, it's always been a thing. It's been an outlet for me. Like, it's, everybody has their outlet or something they work towards. People do marathons and all that kind of stuff. Well, this was mine, hobby. But it just, I learned a lot about myself, and it's where, when I was going through divorce, I remember needing to turn to something and needing something to help me reestablish myself, rebuild my self-confidence. And that's when I started competing, and I just threw myself into it. And then I was surrounded by women who loved the same thing I did, working out, performing, going to shows. Like, it's that little, like, it's what you see with CrossFit and all these other communities, it's the same thing for me. Yeah. And so that was the piece that really helped me over those hurdles. And that's what was happening from kind of where we lead to Be Amazing now, why I've really moved and having a platform for women to come to, is that there are all kinds of stories. Like, women get into fitness, not just for aesthetics or, for that piece of it, but a lot of it's because it's something that they're battling behind the scenes that no one knows. There's a bigger story. And so for me, that's, competing really helped me a lot. And it's a big piece of my life. And then also, like, I've been one of the fitness trainers for the Honeybees, for the Charlotte Hornets, for I guess it's going on, I think it's 11 seasons now. And I've been a part of the pro cheer world. So, again, talking about being perfect and the girls that feel under pressure for that. Like, so, I've had a lot of experience on that side of things. And that's really has a lot to do with kind of where I am right now.
I also truly am so excited that you mentioned the word coach. You said that when you were doing the fitness competitions, you also coached other women. And I feel like that's again, even with the Honeybees, it's same thing. You were kind of that role of a coach of like really being able to help them take it to the next level. And I think that there's people that are born with that innate ability to be able to do that, to be able to see others and to know what they need help with so they can continue to hit their goals and where they're looking to do, whether it's business related, whether it's fitness related, whatever that might look like. So that I think is a perfect segue to really talk about Be Amazing podcast, what it is, the inspiration that you are trying to put out in the world with that.
Wow. So yes. And I want to just say from the coaching piece, that coaching started for me when I was in my 20s, and it started with working at Leroy Springs Recreation Complex in Fort Mill. And at the time they had a cheerleading program and it was given to me and I was like, okay. And I got to coach these little girls in cheerleading. And that for me was it. I knew that coaching them was like everything. And then I had all-star teams. So coaching for me has been like from the get-go, and is why I'm so passionate about helping others. And so now things are even taking, another step in that direction that I'll be excited to share soon. But the whole podcast came about because we were in marketing for the Be Amazing event. We had this event back in 2018, and Strong Fitness Magazine has been very involved, and Paul Busetta is our photographer, and he's the chief photographer for Strong, and he's amazing. And so we were excited this year to do it again in Charlotte. And I had hired SweatNet, which is a local marketing company, to help with marketing of the event here and to really kind of draw people in and get women excited. And then, of course, COVID hit and things shifted. But before that had shifted, I had asked Aaron about doing, maybe let's do 6 episodes of strong women, let's tell some stories because it's important to share the stories so we build up to the event. She's like, let's do it. And so we did. And I found my voice. I found a way to share other women's stories. I found a way to express not only my heart and what Be Amazing's about, but to give women a place to express themselves. And within that 6 episodes, it was like, wow, this is what I need to do right now, because now we've just pulled the plug and we can't do the show and I can't stop now. We got to pick up momentum and keep going. And so Paul and I talked to him about it. He's like, change it to Be Amazing, make it the Be Amazing podcast. And I went back to Aaron and said, what do you guys think? And they're like, yeah, let's, keep moving forward. I'll keep going. So that's where we are now. And the inspiration again behind it just, again, it's, every woman has a story. Every woman has something to share. Every woman has value. Every woman deserves to have a platform to celebrate who they are and to share a little bit about who they are. And so that's really the heart behind it and kind of where I am now.
One of the questions that you asked me when I was on your interview is whether or not I had some sort of fitness thing that I did. And I think that I shared with you that I had done marathons in the past, and then I was in the middle of doing 80-day obsession. And I think that I really wanted you to come on because for me, I know that when I'm taking time to take care of my health by working out, I'm a better mother. I'm a better business owner. I'm better at all the things because my stress level is down. And I think with COVID, with quarantine, with homeschooling kids at the same time, so many of us need that. And I think for many of us, we pushed it aside, which is what I did in the beginning of quarantine. I was like, there is no way there's any time for myself. And when I flipped that switch and said, nope, this is my time, I'm taking that, and it doesn't matter what anybody else has going on, there was a shift in my business. There was a shift in my relationship with my family because they understood that. And I was a happy person afterwards. So I really, and just so grateful and wanted to make sure that we talked about this idea of not always feeling like you need to be perfect and to be amazing. And then it can tie back to the fitness, because I have so many listeners, I feel like, that are coming to me to listen for the business side of things. But part of business is taking care of yourself. And that is why I think that the event that you host, I am excited for when we can have it in person. And the fact that you do it in Charlotte gets me so excited. So yes, I'm so very excited about it.
I am too. And I would say to anybody that's listening, like the whole taking care of yourself piece is so important. And it doesn't have to be a lot. I think sometimes we get, we get wrapped up in this thought process, or we see, all the videos on Instagram, try this workout for an hour, or try taking this for the next 45 minutes. And you're somebody going, I hardly have 10. And there are going to be days that are busier than others. But I think it is important just taking, whether it's 10 minutes at a time, because like yesterday was a crazy day for me, business wise. And so I didn't do my regular workout, which is like, I love to have a full hour where I can just go and, bust it out. But like yesterday wasn't. So it was like, okay, I got 10 minutes right now. So what can I do for 10 minutes? And then it was like 3 hours later, I got 10 minutes right now. What can I do for 10 minutes? So it's just taking it in where you are. Like, don't get hung up in some perfection or perfect world, because that's what we do. We're like, well, if it's not perfectly set in my schedule, So I would just encourage you, like, do what you can. Don't get hung up on how long or what it is. Turn some music on and dance. Like, that's activity. That's fitness. Like, it doesn't have to look a certain way.
Yes, no, 100%. And it's funny that you say that, because I was on Instagram yesterday and I saw you doing yoga. So I knew that.
Yes, like any chance, yesterday I think I danced, like I turned on music on and my husband walked by and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is my workout right now. I'm breaking it down for like 5 minutes, a little Missy Elliott, a little cool off, let's go. And a few yoga poses to bring it down.
There you go. So great. So where are the best places to connect with you? Obviously, we got to make sure that we're listening to the podcast, Be Amazing. Where else, like on social media?
Oh, okay. So you could go to my Instagram, which is It's Cel Smart. And then also I would love for you all to start following Be Amazing Weekend so that you can stay up to date on everything amazing and up to date on what's coming up event wise. And I'm super excited because there's going to be some events happening in Charlotte, and hope that you could all come out and join us.
So the Be Amazing Weekend, that's on Instagram as well.
Yes.
And it's that whole handle. Okay, good. We're going to make sure. Good. We're going to link to that in the show notes that you all can just easily click through. But if you're out walking and getting your exercise, which I'm hoping you're doing while you're listening to this, you can just flip over to Instagram and check Be Amazing Weekend to make sure that you follow along there. And of course, if you come out to Charlotte for the Be Amazing Weekend, I will be there. So it'll be a 2-for-1. You'll get to meet Cel and you'll get to see me again.
And there'll be so many fun things to do. It's like a girls' weekend. So we're just going to have such a blast. And I want to shout out my friend Jen Forsyth from Start to Finish, who is going to be really, she's the mastermind behind all the race events you see in Charlotte, but she's the one that's putting on the race on Friday night. And then on Saturday, just the events we're going to have are going to be so much fun. So super excited, and just thank you for giving me this opportunity to share about it.
No, of course. Thank you so much for your insight, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on.
Thank you.
All right. We know that obviously 2020 was quite the year. But now that we are in 2021, I'm hoping that you're making small changes in your business, in your life, and making sure that you're taking care of yourself. That was really the importance of this episode. I felt that Cel just has such an amazing message, and I am super excited about her event, which is now launched and open for you to find out. So we are going to link to that in the show notes. Make sure that you go and check out the event. Like I said in the podcast interview, if you're looking for an excuse to come to Charlotte to meet people in person, you definitely want to come to Cel's event, and I will be there. So I would love to meet you in person if I haven't already. All right, you guys, until next time, I will see you all then.